Hey, been a little while since I uploaded, so I figured we're gonna make a video today, talk about something that I love, that you love, and that's video games. And apologies now, I know I sound a little sick, but I'm just gonna power through it to make the video, so let's hop right in. I wanna start out today's video by asking you a simple question. Why do you play video games? Doesn't have to be a singular reason, but try and think about that answer for a few seconds before we get into the main core of this video. For some of you, it's probably a simple answer, like you play games because your friends play them, or you just are a die-hard fan of a certain series and that's all you play, or even that, you like to relax and video games are something that lets you do that. For me, it's a more complicated answer. You see, when I was just a little shopping bag back in the days of Xbox 360 and Modern Warfare 2, I used to play every day after school, but I wasn't any good. I was always hearing my friends talk about getting nukes or high kill streaks or quick scoping, just doing things that I didn't think was possible. And it made me feel really disappointed when I played. Was I having fun back then? Yeah, I definitely was. But it was because I was talking to people that I knew and enjoying their company, and not because the game was so great or that I was so good at it. Now, let's fast forward to college. Would you believe it? I'm still pretty bad. But with a new computer and a more developed frontal lobe, I started making the moves that I never could in the earlier days. I was finally able to play how I wanted to play, even if my friends weren't online. And playing how I wanted meant doing something challenging. It was around this time that I discovered that I play video games because I like working hard. To those of you that are still listening that play games purely to relax or to turn your brain off, that's gonna sound weird, but it's true. Now, it took me a long time to figure out why this is the case. Why don't I just play the meta? Why don't I just play the game on an easier difficulty? These are the things I asked myself while writing the script for this video. And what I found out, and I know this kind of feels like a psychological analysis because it is, but what I found out was that I always have this looming fear of being discredited. I never want someone to be able to say, hey, well, you only beat that game because this gun is broken, or, well, you just used the overpowered class, that's why you did better than me. And it's definitely become a sort of projection that I put out when I play video games. This whole mindset might sound toxic and unfun, but trust me, I truly do love playing video games. I love taking something bad and beating the game with it. It's what drives me to try every time I log on and every time I boot up an old game. Beating the meta by using something outside of it is like a drug to me, and I'm finding ways to accept that other people don't want to do that. Because why make life harder for yourself at the end of the day, right? The reason this whole idea came about was because back in those days of playing Modern Warfare 2 and listening to my friends talk about getting nukes, I was using the best weapons. I was doing everything that my friends were doing, and I still wasn't succeeding. So I needed to find a way to be as good as them without using the same guns, the same perks, or whatever other strategy they were using. And that's what sparked my lifelong anti-meta obsession, my super try-hard attitude, and my love for challenges in video games. You see, it wasn't enough for me to just beat Elden Ring. I needed to beat it with a bow-only playthrough, because then nobody could say that I used a broken build. And if that wasn't enough, now I'm trying to beat the game without ever drinking a potion. The issue is, I'm building up all this evidence in the case that somebody, someday, says, hey, you aren't that good at games, and I can show them all the hard things that I've done to prove them wrong. The truth is, I'm taping my hands and bouncing around the canvas, waiting for an opponent that is never going to show up. The truth is, nobody really cares that much. I somehow managed to turn this thing that I looked forward to every day after school into some prideful passion that's a coping mechanism for my own lack of self-confidence. I know that this simple video got a little bit serious, and to those of you that are still listening, the important thing to take away is to understand why you play video games. We all share this hobby, and it's good to think about why we commit so much time to them. I'm not asking you to go make a 5-minute video reflecting on why you don't like using the best gun in a game, but I think it's good to learn something about ourselves in between all the loading screens and the respawn timers. Thanks for listening.